Good evening, everyone. Time for another silver update. Now, this is the 4-hour chart of silver provided by netdania.com. You can click on the link below. Now, I've drawn in the major trend channel that we dropped out of. You can see we dropped out of it right there. It had gone on for more than 2 months, almost 3 months. Dropped out of it, had a correction back to it, back into it, dropped out of it again, and that was the big sell-off that we had. Now you can see the increasing volume. The volume is absolutely phenomenal. If you remember, I was talking about looking for a right shoulder to this action, at being this volume here, looking at these two as being a potential bottom. Now those numbers, those volume numbers, are absolutely dwarfed by these volume numbers. And we can see it even more when we get out to the daily. We'll take you out there in a second, but I wanted to show you these key levels here. First key level is going to be the top of this trend channel. That has been attempted to reverse out of it here in failure. It is touched multiple times and then failure. So this is going to be a big level here. This one moves as we go on, so this one's all the way down to about 16.5 bucks. The other one is going to be the resistance here. What was underlying support has now become overhead resistance. There's two key levels there, 1675 and 1875. These are going to be the two key levels to watch as we try to rally up, form a bottom. If this is the bottom, and I said the last time, I said I thought it was about 80% chance that it's the bottom. I think now it's about a 90% chance that this is in fact the bottom. I say that because of the Silver Eagle situation and some other things, but mainly because of the volume. The volume is absolutely phenomenal. I've never seen anything like it. So let's go out to the daily and look at that volume. You can see that we came in there. I was counting the days. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The 9th day we actually exceeded it. Now we had 21 million, did not exceed that record on the Boston bombing. Well, I don't know. That's a close call. They're very, very close there. So just about a match. But cumulatively, if we look at the week, then there's absolutely no comparison. You can see we've had 2 gigantic weeks here with the volume just surging. And so that's why I say I think there's a 90% chance that that's the bottom. So let's take a look at the gold chart real quick. We've seen the same sort of volume coming in with gold, unprecedented volume coming in. Probably going to be the bottom with gold. Let's go ahead and pull up a MACD. You can see that in the weekly it hasn't turned over. You can see though on the daily it has. Let's jump back to silver to see what the MACD is doing on that. And you can see it's still in negative territory, but it is crossed over to the positive, but we're still way below the zero line. So there's a lot of room to run. It wouldn't surprise me to see a move like that. I don't think we're going to get that, but that long-term, very, very long-term resistance is all the way up here at 26 bucks. It wouldn't surprise me a bit if we did get that with this type of volume that we've seen. So hopefully people have stocked up. Now I went and checked the sites that I look at. I've been watching 4 sites. I've been watching APMEX, Gainesville, Provident, and I've been looking at JM Bullion because they had some of the horses. Gainesville, and I'm talking about Perth Lunar Series. First of all, here we're going to talk about Perth Lunar Series because that's the ones that I like the most. But there really isn't anything there on any of those sites. The best deal I could find was, not the best deal. The thing I liked the most was the half-ounce horses, but the best price is 14.5 bucks over at JM Bullion. That's just too rich for my blood. I did pick up the half-ounce horses at $12.50, and that's $25 an ounce. That's pretty expensive. But this is the best deal that I could find. This is the 2015 half-ounce koalas over at Gainesville Coins. and we've got them for $11.31. If you think that's too expensive, that's $22.60 an ounce. That's going to be, you know, more than $5 above spot. You've got the 1 ounce here for 20 bucks. So we're talking, what was silver at now? 16.30. So, you know, the Eagles usually go $2.99 above spot. This is a little bit more than that. So that's a pretty good deal. Let's check and see how many they have. And I suppose they have quite a bit. They've got 2,500 of the 1 ounce, and they've got about 3,000 of the half ounce. So they got plenty of those. They can order more. They're 2015. I don't know if the Perth Mint's going to want to mint a lot of new ones at these current prices, but these current prices might not last. So that's the best I can do. I'm not buying right now. I already did my buying. Maybe things will level out, but then again, maybe they won't. So let's look at a couple of stories here. I wanted to look at this one story about the billionaires, and this is a story that we hear a lot in the media. It's the Occupy Wall Street crowd and the, you know, the left wing, you know, type of covetousness and want what other people have thing and wealth envy. And that's not to say that this isn't ridiculous, but people don't understand the difference between the haves and the have-nots, the 1%, the 0.1%, and all this stuff. This is because of the Federal Reserve. It is solely because of the Federal Reserve, and it's just too bad that the Occupy Wall Street types haven't figured out, or at one point they were talking about it, but they just can't seem to get it, that the problem is not the corporations, the problem is not the rich, the problem is the Federal Reserve. So let's look at some of these facts here. It's pretty amazing the discrepancies that we're seeing here, and we're actually seeing it in the high-priced yachts and jets. So demand for billionaires' most coveted jet, the $65 million G650 from Gulfstream, is so strong that some G650 owners are now flipping their planes for millions of dollars in profit just months after buying them. Bernie Ecclestone, the Formula One auto racing promoter and billionaire, flipped his for about $72 million last fall, just weeks after receiving it. Sales of personal VIP jetliners are also strong. Boeing has received several orders from individuals for its 777-300ER, which normally carries 400 passengers, and even bigger 747-800. Quote, the really top guys are insulated from fluctuations in the economy, Mr. Rushton said. They've always got money, and they have even more today. For decades, a rising tide lifted all yachts. Now it's mainly lifting mega yachts. Sales and orders of boats longer than 300 feet are at or near a record high, according to brokers and yacht builders, but prices for boats 100 to 150 feet long are now down 30 to 50%. So you can see here the billionaires and the millionaires, or the multimillionaires, being separated. What is going on here? Well, some of the money is leaking out. I guess this could be a trickle-down effect. I guess it's good for you if maybe you have a job in the yacht building industry, or I should say the mega yacht building industry. But this, again, is all a result of the Federal Reserve, who is continuing its financial repression with 0% interest rates, giving money to the banks, and then having the banks buy treasury bonds and make a locked-in gain of 0.5% or whatever that is. But again, if you're talking many, many billions or even trillions of dollars, and 0.5% is quite a bit of money. Again, all of it caused by the Federal Reserve. And as I've said before, it's not working for the regular economy, for the middle class and the normal people. The job market is worse than it's ever been, even though the government's not telling us the truth on that. So they're getting increasingly desperate. And we've seen all the stuff going on, whether it's rumors of wars. And the latest one here, this one I find to be just absolutely hilarious, is the ISIS unveils its new gold-backed currency to remove itself from the oppressor's money system. So they've got their fake terror group, you know, the one that they created, just like Al-Qaeda, to go out there, and now they're lumping in the gold and silver stackers with terrorists. So that's not surprising. This is their fake terror group. This is their Islamic State caliphate that they've raised up, as Dave from the X-22 report always points out. They're trying to find a reason so they can attack Syria, get in a war with Syria, possibly draw Iran into the war, and then possibly draw Russia and China into a world war. That's what's going on. That's why they're raising up this Islamic State. But they're not only doing that now, they're trying to paint gold and silver stackers in there with the terrorists. And that, you know, that story has about as much credibility as the Ebola story and the rest of the crazy stuff that they're doing. And here's a story that kind of sums it all up. This is about the equivalent of the credibility that they have now. This is not the Onion. This is the Daily Mail. And this is the Ku Klux Klan opens its door to Jews, homosexuals, and black people in a bizarre recruitment drive. White supremacist group Ku Klux Klan is rebranding the new Klan. Founder wants Jews, black people, gays, and those of Hispanic origin to join. Wow. So you just can't make this stuff up. These phony groups, that these fake opposition that the governments create, terror groups and these phony groups, they can change their positions. You know, I mean, the very essence of this group is to hate these people that they're talking about bringing in. So anybody who's studied the government and their involvement with the Klan and the white supremacists and the neo-Nazis and all these groups knows that these groups are completely infiltrated and controlled by government agents. In fact, probably the Klan is just the government itself. Wouldn't surprise me at all. ISIS is just the government itself trying to create an opposition. And the reason why, of course, is because they're desperate. And the reason they're desperate is because it appears that we're nearing the end of their system of printing money. And I think that there's a very good chance that this is, in fact, the bottom for a very, very long time. I would say if this is the bottom, this is going to be the bottom for dollars. You're not going to see a lower price in dollars ever again. And I give it a 90% chance. And we'll talk to you next time.